Hello, and welcome to a new episode with your host, Vinney Chopra. I'm so excited to have you here as we dive deep into the world of real estate investing, syndications, abundance mindset, and building generational wealth. We are excited to be in the top 1.5% of the real estate podcasts. Got number 11 actually out of top 50 real estate syndication podcasts. Thanks to you. Each episode, we bring powerful insights, expert guests, and actionable strategies to help you take your investing game to the next level. Whether you are a seasoned investor or just getting started, if you love what you hear, please take a moment to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and follow me on social media so that we can never miss an episode. Your support helps us continue sharing valuable content with more people like you. Now let's jump into today's episode. Thank you.
Welcome back, Alchemist. This is Abundance Thursdays with myself, Gualter, Amarelo, and the great Vinney Chopra. Vinney, welcome back.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I know it took us a little bit time, but now we are live on LinkedIn. That's fabulous, fabulous. Of course, people can also watch the YouTube channel and Facebook channel and everything. Something really exciting happened, Walter. Day before yesterday, I was invited by the local BAM. It's the Bay Area where I live, multifamily and more. That's the BAM organization. 69 or 70 people registered. And the percentage that came was 85%. Some people traveled 2 hours to meet me there. I was just so thankful. It was very wonderful, evening, and a lot of food, a lot of great sponsors. And, I was able to share some knowledge.
So, Vinney, I have an update for you then. If you like the live events and you like people coming to see you live, I have 51 people registered for the summit right now, accredited investors. And
Yes.
What's interesting about this, I've been in this industry long enough to know that the industry standard is that 30 days out from an event, we're 34 days out, but 30 days out from an event, 50% of your attendees are registered. And the last 30 days is when everybody starts buying tickets, starts getting their stuff set up and lined up. And one of the interesting things about these 51 is I know them personally. That's the coolest thing about the people who've already registered. I know them personally. I'm already interviewing them, meeting them before we get to the summit. So the people who are coming, they're coming from not just 2 hours away. Some of them are traveling from across the country, California, New York. They're flying all into Orlando to meet you in person. And so you have a very big group of people who absolutely love Vinney Chopra because they watch us on Abundance Thursdays every Thursday. They see all your posts on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. I saw you're on TikTok, on YouTube. And today's principle we're going to dive into is know thyself. So the biggest asset you have is yourself. Vinney, you've met a lot of people over the years. You have over 500 investors who've invested in deals with you. At one point, you had over 185 people who actually worked within your company. You've had thousands upon thousands of tenants and then tens of thousands of people stay in your hotels. You know a thing or two about people. I think at this point, it's safe to say, if a person's going to be successful or if they're not going to be successful. You know if they have money that they want to invest or if they're having problems financially. Today we're going to dive into are some of the hacks that you've seen in successful people after 73 years on the planet. By the way, happy birthday again.
Thank you.
I know a couple weeks ago you turned 73, or as you like to say, 37.
37, brother. I was saying that on the stage day before yesterday. I said you could hack your subconscious by telling your subconscious that you have more energy this year. Today is a beautiful day. And it's not 1 year older, it's 1 year younger. 1 year younger, 1 year younger. Lots of people met me afterwards. Of course, I was mingling with the crowd, with the investors beforehand. So it was like about 1 hour of meeting everybody and so forth. And then my 1 hour presentation. Then I stayed 1 hour more to meet with them later on, take pictures and sign my books and things like that. So it was wonderful. But the key thing is you got to be putting yourself in the shoes of the investors. See, that's the number one principle of consultation is that no matter how excited you are, how much you know about your product, you got to bring all the investors, just like the sea. See, I mean, the waves come, and then the sand is up and down and everything. If you make it, whatever on structure, but you got to level it up. You got to level it up so that they are ready to absorb what you are trying to share. But your personality, your demeanor should be imitating theirs. See, that's the number one thing. A lot of times we are so enthusiastic and the people are so melancholy, they're subdued, and they just don't want too much detail, and they don't want. What they want is simpler way to understand an education. So by having the attitude of educating this our investors is the number one thing. And I gave the nugget on the stage. The biggest thing anybody could do is to do a Zoom recording of the presentation, 15, 20, 30 minutes. Have a PowerPoint presentation. Don't go in tangents all over, because the more we go in tangents and we are not really covering the things that we want to, first find out where they are, then find out where they have been investing, then find out how much they know, what their goals are, and get to know them. Just don't blabber everything in just first 20 minutes. And then there is nothing to share, and they say, okay, well, I'll think about it or something.
I'll think about it. The kiss of death. The kiss of
It's
death when
kiss
it
of
comes
death.
to any decision. Oh, I'll think about it. What are you going to think about? You've already made your decision that you don't know. That's what I'll think about it means, is I don't know because you didn't solve or answer my
Yeah.
questions. So Vinny, what you just
Yes.
shared is the problem of not knowing who you are, right? If
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
okay, sometimes I talk really fast. When we're at the summit, I say it's the first thing I say is, guys, I talk really fast. So when I get into something I really like, I'm going to talk very fast. So I'll occasionally talk about things I don't like so I could slow down if you need
Yeah.
some slowdown. The other thing you pointed about is, sometimes you tend to rabbit hole. Human nature.
Yes.
A lot of us will go off and, oh, let me tell you about this story over here, but the
Yeah.
slide is a 15-minute slide. It's a 15-minute presentation. And if you don't stay on that slide, the slide is actually a tool to help fix what we know about ourselves as people who are presenting. So
Yeah.
you gave away the whole horse just now, and you gave all the course and all the nugget of how to present. Let me ask a question. If you know that you're a fast talker, that you know more than the audience and maybe they're not as sophisticated as you, what are
Oh,
things that you can, knowing your strengths, knowing all of your
yeah.
knowledge, knowing all of your speed, and knowing that you love the stories of the properties, how do you use those strengths and bring those to bear when you're speaking to somebody who maybe needs you to speak slower, who maybe needs you to start at the very beginning and give you all the details of a deal? I had somebody call me today, said, I really need you to go step by step. And I laughed a little bit because I was like, wait, you're already at the bank and you're already doing a wire transfer. You need step to step at this point? Like
Yeah.
there's not many steps left. This is the end of the road. but
Right.
but
Right.
that was necessary, and it's not my nature. Like, I'm not thinking step to step. So when you know your strengths are speed, you have all this knowledge, Vinny, and you know that your customers don't have all of this experience that you have, how do you adjust using your strengths? How do you adjust to fit each investor individually?
I would say slowing down in voice, in inflection, and sitting back. And God gave us two eyes, two ears, but one mouth. So I always say, we should be talking 20% out of the five, 20% let the investors of the people across the board, could be lenders, could be attorneys, could be anybody, should talk 80% of the time. The more they talk, you listen, they will show you what they want. They will tell you what should be the next question they want answered. See, the problem is many times we put together PowerPoint with this, so much, but they are not able to comprehend. It took us maybe a month to put the PowerPoint together, but we are trying to cram that into their throat or in their thinking in 15 minutes. So simpler PowerPoint, simpler points that are very much on their mind. It has to be. The meetings should take care of their anxieties and risks and questions. So it's always good to ask a lot of questions. then answer them. Take the slide to the answer on this 15th slide, which answers what they are thinking about. Because unless you give the answer, they're going to shut up, shut off. Shut off is the
Shut
word.
off.
They will not be listening to you. And then asking them, does this make sense? Do you like this? What I just explained. Can I go a little bit more in detail to explain what you were wanting to? So, yeah, trial questions. Trial questions are very big.
Probing questions, informative questions. You just shared is okay. One of your weaknesses, as even Vinney Chopra, one of your weaknesses is I don't know this individual. No matter if it's somebody new, even though as many people as you've talked to, as many people as you've
Yeah,
served, as many people you've spoken in front of, you still, when you get in front of a new person or a new audience, you still don't know the
nothing,
individual, and
nothing.
you know that. Most people don't know that, Vinny. Most people think that they know what other people are thinking, and they'll run the presentation the way they think.
No,
You take time to ask questions during a presentation. You take
that's the
time to
thing.
ask questions during a conversation.
Yeah,
That takes deep understanding of self and a humility that I know that a lot of people don't have. And I know that you wake up with that gratitude for your humility. I know that because we're always talking
yeah,
about gratitude, we're always talking about abundance. So there's a gratitude that comes from being able to be aware that you don't know everything and you do have to ask some questions, but then you also prepare yourself with the next conversation that you're having with a person. It comes from previous conversations, you build on it. There's triggers in the space. Now you wrote down some notes that I'm very excited about what we're talking about today, because personality tests and personalities and knowing yourself is the
yes,
key to success. We all talk about mindset, but what is mindset? It is self. It's how we operate. So you wrote down know your triggers. Now, for anybody who's not heard these before, triggers are things that help you respond. Triggers are
yeah,
things that you move. So I talked to Doreen. I say, like, Walter's pretty likely to do this in this scenario. I know that. So I try to put myself into scenarios that will make me do good things, and put myself in protect myself from scenarios that will make me do bad things. So if
yeah,
I know I need to wake up at a certain time, I set my alarm clock. It's been a very effective tool.
yeah, yeah.
So what are some
So,
triggers that create a stress response inside investors? Things that they hear it, they see it, and they feel a stress response. They say, I don't know, or I don't want to, or I'm not interested. Even though they have the abundance mindset, they're positive, great outlook, they still, certain things will trigger an investor. What are things that triggers an investor to feel stress or scared or fear?
the biggest thing I find in investment world definitely is where they have been in the last 4 or 5 years, where they have invested, where they have lost money. They'll open up to you right away. I've had so many investors tell me, Vinny, I lost 500,000 here with this place and this place. Then I had another one tell me 200,000. All that stuff. So the key thing is to find out where they are coming from. Don't try to blabber and put things down their throat. You got to, maybe the one meeting could be just to find out and get to know them. Because in any kind of, anybody who wants to make a business with us or like that, could be broker, could be lender, could be attorney, whatever, or investors. They need to first trust us and see who we are, where we have been, and then find out what's on their mind. We want to make sure what's on their mind. Oh my gosh, I'm sweating very good, which is good. you know but the key thing is to really show them why you're meeting. They know it because they made an appointment with you. So they know that they are looking and researching is the word. They may just try to find out all the answers, and then they share with their partner or their business partner or attorney, they have some questions. So when people have questions, that's a good sign. It means you are not able to answer everything which on their mind. The preservation of capital, the security, the assumptions, the area where your this investment is in real estate in our case, all those things have to be covered rightly and then shared with them slowly, slowly, and then you give the whole deck. Let them take time after the meeting and you give them the video recording also, which I always like to do that. I take their permission. Is it okay? Because I'll be covering few things, and you may like to share with your spouse, with your attorney, with your church, pastor, your brother, sister, like that. Because if it's a good deal, it's good for them, others to see it too. Who knows? They will jump in, like
Vinny, I like what you started with just now. That's such a great nugget. You learn what money they've lost before. You learn what deals they've failed in before, and you get their concerns right up front. You just inspired a
yes.
Facebook post. I just typed in the chat in Facebook, millionaires, what's the most money you've ever lost on a deal, and what
Yeah.
would you do differently? Because I'm very interested. What is it
Yeah.
that is making investors concerned? Where have they been
Everybody
burned? Where have they
loses
been hurt?
money. I've lost so much money. It's amazing. Made money, lost money. Everybody goes through those ups and downs in life. The big thing is what you're presenting. Is it solving their situation? Is it something that can really help them to get to the next level? Because everybody's thinking is tax. How can I save on taxes, preservation of capital, cash flows, and the upside? Those are the four things. Yeah.
Vinny, I got a crazy story that 14 houses were bought, all underwater, all single families. So, not the space you and I are in anymore, but
Yeah.
they have 18 investors on second positions. And they're all underwater, and they stopped making payments. The investors stopped making payments 8 months ago. And one of the
Wow.
lenders came to me and said, can you solve this? And I'm going to meet with them today at 6 o'clock. And my answer is the only way to solve this is we need to do a bigger deal that has more equity, because
Yeah.
these deals are dead. There's nothing left here.
Mhm.
That ability, like you said, that confidence of knowing how to solve problems.
Hi friends, this is Vinney Chopra from here in Danville, California. And you might be saying, hey Vinney, what are these over here? I wrote this book a few years back, Apartment Syndication Made Easy. It became top seller. I came from India with $7 in my pocket. It says 500 million. It's going to be 1 billion very soon, very soon. I'm right at about 850, 900 million. And then I'm ready for the next billion. Actually, you will see that happening, 2 billion in this book also. The other book I wrote, which has been a very big positivity, has been my life. Always, I've been married 43 years with 2 children, and the beauty is to be positive, the mindset that can take you to all the places in the world. And that's the book that also became big seller. My third book, Senior Assisted Living, is coming. So do yourself a favor, go ahead and click the link below to get free copies, audio copies of these books, even printed copies of these books. Printed means digital if you can't afford it, but I would highly recommend for you to get these, or go to Amazon.com. Just go to Amazon. I got it in soft cover, in hardcover, in Kindle, in audio, also the Spanish version of this book also. So let's crush it, guys. I know you can be successful. I know you can do the kind of things that you want to do in life and have the streams of income and know how to really, educate yourself so that you could become a strong force in this world in real estate. I know you can. So take that step. Don't just be on the sideline. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your education.
Have you ever been in a situation or seen something as bad as this, where millions is out there and the deals are now unprofitable? How do people dig out? How do lenders protect themselves, one, but how do you dig out when a deal's gone south like this? How do you protect the investors?
It's very difficult, very, very difficult, brother. The thing is, investors feel that if you do cash calls or things like that, I'm going to lose 300,000, I think, which I invested with different operators, and they are doing cash calls and all. But I'm just, needing the money to put in my projects. So I have not been able to give them. But the key thing is, investors many times feel, am I putting money towards the bad money, which I've already lost my equity, and do I give more money? So it all depends how the whole trajectory has been. And I know it's been very unkind, the real estate, commercial real estate, especially in multifamily and others and all. has been very unkind with the interest rates. We just got quarter point cut yesterday, but that's going to help a little bit. But the big thing is the cost of insurance, the property taxes, the interest rate hikes, all those things, has really turned the cash flow into negative cash flow, and the
It's
regression of rents and everything. So,
it's even
it,
worse in the single families.
oh, it is
These are
worse.
supposed to be
Oh,
flips. These were all supposed to be flips,
yeah.
and all their values are getting compressed, and now they're all stuck. So it's but not
Oh,
to
it's
paint a
a
bad picture in the market. Let me be very clear. Vinny and I
yeah.
are both operators. We're both buying real estate right now. Vinny's buying hotels. Vinny's buying
Yes.
senior assisted livings. He's
Yeah.
doing residential assisted livings. He has a total of 30 types of businesses that he's in, all different
Yeah.
types of businesses, different
All kind of.
investments. Well, a
I
lot
should
of
be narrowing
passive, some
down,
active.
drop some out, and it's just too much. Some are unprofitable. I need to cancel them and maybe try to give them push.
It's a
But you're
good
right.
it's a good year to consolidate, maybe pull back,
Mm,
re-clear what's working. Like you said, you coach a lot of people when you're an investor, you actually go in and say, hey guys, look, I need to spend some time with you because money stopped coming in the way it was supposed to.
yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a moment, because that's knowing yourself as an operator, still a passive investor. I'm a passive investor, you're a passive investor. We're both operators. How does your unique ability as an operator help you recover money from deals that may have gone south in the past?
It's difficult. It's difficult. I mean, we did do this cash call on the senior living. We got some money, but I'm putting my money along with theirs so that they can see and trust, that Vinny's there for, to save the thing. But not too many, just one out of, I sold a lot, thank goodness, last 4 or 5 years, 6 7 years. I've been selling every 3 to 5 years as the property matures. But now the two big ones, of course, they are very big, and we'll be able to see the interest rates coming down. Hopefully, put them on market in a year or two as the market improves.
And
But
it's amazing time to refinance right now, Vinny.
it
I got into
is,
loans
yeah,
last year, beginning of this year, and now I'm getting loans that are at better rates, and I'm thinking, wow, like
yeah,
this is a great opportunity for us. Points just came down 25%. Yeah, they're high from 2 years ago, but
yes,
it is getting better. But there are operators, very sophisticated operators, Vinny, very
hmm,
big sophisticated operators who are just selling their properties to us cheap because they can't handle Jackson, Mississippi. They can't handle Cleveland. They own
sure,
too much in Austin, Texas. They own too much in
hmm,
Atlanta, Georgia. They own too much in
yeah,
Florida. And they're now saying, I don't want to be involved in these tertiary markets. I'm just can't spend the resources. It's not enough units. And we're
right,
picking up
right,
80 doors, 80 unit, like small
awesome,
buildings, 66,
uh-huh.
76.
Yeah, that's good though.
So
Yeah,
there's opportunity in the marketplace. There's opportunity for investors right now, but the operators you're going with have to be able to weather the storm. Like operators like you, Vinny, who've taken the time to over the last few years exit some properties, getting into stronger cash positions, pulling money
that's the
back.
big.
You're telling an operator now. I know you just raised 3.5 million on another project. You're telling
Yeah,
this other
I
operator,
know
dude, I'm not
that.
giving you any more money. Give me my
I know, I
300,000
know.
back. I'm not giving you any more. I'm putting my
He,
money where my money belongs being. That's that's something that I think a
yeah,
lot of investors can't separate, putting the good money after bad money, solving a problem by going somewhere else. Uh, you build complementary teams. Were you always
you
a
know,
great team builder? Was that
you
something
know,
you always had? Or you have to build that.
but no, what we are talking is so important because we need to have complementary team members who can really take pressure off of you, the duties off of you, because you are able to concentrate as a CEO with the vision and everything. But the departments, all different departments, need to have the heads who can really lead and be motivated and excited and pass your vision down the pipe. So complementary is very big.
Vinny, Vinny, have you always been a very good team builder, or was there a point where you looked at yourself and said, I have to get better at this? And maybe
You
have
know,
is a strong word. Maybe you looked at yourself and said, there's an
you never
opportunity for
arrive.
me, Vinny, to get better at building teams. Have you ever
Totally.
hired a bad team?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Oh, sure. By far, by far. And one thing I remember many, many years back, I said, if somebody is poison, I call it as poison, in your organization, you got to let them go right away. You got to, because that poison then contaminates other members and everything. So if somebody's not just and not integrity wise, loyalty wise, you got to take action. Hire great people, train them, but fire them fast also. I've done that. I've done that. And that's what I permeate, when we had 160, 70 people in our team, because the thing is, you got to keep everybody motivated. It was exciting for me to see when we closed down our management company. A lot of people said, "Oh my gosh, when are you going to buy more?" Because as we were selling properties, they will be out of job. But we'll tell them this is the closing and help them give some bonuses also. Exit bonus, I called it. Some money, maybe a couple of months of pay or like that. And then help them, the new buyer to interview them and keep them on. If they don't, then try to help them that way. But it's good to really be very focused into team building, because the whole business is about team building. It's not a solo game at all. It really is not.
I agree. I've been blessed. I took your advice. I went and I brought in a consulting firm to
Yeah.
manage the portfolio, and they are amazing at team building. They teach me things. I learn. I don't know.
Hmm.
I've paid for coaching programs, but paying
Yeah.
this consulting firm to come and do the work for me, I learn even more by being involved in some of their meetings and seeing what they're doing with this team building side of things. Now, you and I are big fans of personality tests.
Yeah.
And in the past, we've talked about DISC, we've talked about
Yeah.
Myers-Briggs. There's a dozen other tests out there that you've used inside your company. If somebody were to ask you the question, which one do you like right now? What's the last one you've really used or implemented at scale? What's a personality test or way that you can gauge if somebody's good to be in business with for you?
That's a good point. I know biggest thing in interviews are behavioral questions. You cannot take what's on the resume. I found that you got to give them situations and let them respond. What happens if this happens? What happens? And nowadays with Chat GPT and Perplexity, you could ask the top questions for this candidate I'm interviewing. What will be the top 20 questions I should be asking? And ChatGPT will give you all those 20 questions to the T, brief. And there you go into it. I would say this personality, in the past, we have done DIS, the DISC one, because the thing is that tells us in what quadrant your personality is. Are you, in this? The key thing is it's the history of the team member and their experience counts. And would they fit into the position that you're hiring them for? So having a very clear understanding of the job description and their matching of the history, because people don't change much. It's so hard to change habits. If you're late to work and you are just, like that and not the can do factors and will do factors, I say. So we have to really make sure there's a good mesh of both, you
It
know?
reminds me of a quote that a friend of mine reminded me of. Johnny Depp in the movie Pirates of the Caribbean. He's looking at his co-partner and he's got him hanging out on the sail, and he says to him, "There's what a man can do and what a man can't do, and
Yeah,
you've got to decide."
totally, totally. I mean, in the interviews, people always are the best of the best of the best, right? But you got to give them 90-day probation. I always had that rule in my company when we had so many people, 90-day, no ifs or buts. They got to prove that they are motivated, excited, they could do the job. We can train them, everything, right? But after 90 days, they need to be up and running and holding the position, that we want. And we always kind of gave promotions within also. That was also very big because we had property leasing people and managers, assistant managers, regional managers, asset manage, all that stuff.
Yes, Vinny, we're bringing in the consulting firm into Jackson. We didn't have them out there originally. I had my own management company out there. My
Yeah.
international team from the Philippines
Yes.
were
Yes.
working in Jackson, and recently they got a message. And they said, "Hey, are you keeping us? Are you going to get rid of us? Because these guys seem like they're doing everything that we're doing. And I said, I've got a position for each one of you, but it's inside Alchemist Nation. And it's over here in talking with my investors, filtering through my
Yeah.
database, building out my
Yep.
landing pages, building my websites, working on my coaching program to make
Yep.
sure that we're building millionaires and helping our investors become passive investors. And
Yes.
she's my collections person. This girl can get on the phones and get tenants to pay you. And I said, guess where you're gonna be? You're gonna be on Getting On with Investors and be like, have you bought a house this week? You said you
Yes.
would. Gualter asked me to call you. Like, what's going on? So she same skill. It's just now she's elevating who she's speaking to instead of a tenant
Yes.
that doesn't want to pay. She's now talking to an investor who really does want to change their lives.
I
But
love
it came
it.
from higher within. I couldn't get rid of her. She was so good that I said I got to find can she take some of my pressure off in another
That's
company in another department? And the
yeah.
answer was yes, hire within. I like that. So
Yes.
identity drives destiny. What would you say? Not just about yourself, knowing yourself, but what would you say about other entrepreneurs in this space? Some of the people that have invested with you are very, very successful. You have over 500 investors, multi-millionaires,
Yeah.
people who have 5 million with you, millions of dollars with you.
Yeah.
What are some of the trends that you've seen in those people, their personalities, their core personality that makes you like them? Because I know you do not take money if you don't like that person. Like you
That's
got to
right.
know them
Yeah.
to some degree. What litmus test do you put an investor through to say, I feel comfortable working with you, helping you get richer? Because that's what you do. You take their money and you grow their money over years. What
Right.
what do they have to pass? What personality or characteristics are you looking for, Vinney Chopra, in the investor you're working with?
Our whole investor base has been grown without media and things like that. We started small and then they told more people, more friends, more family. That's how we mushroomed, right? So they are very private people and we don't hear from them much. We just give the updates, quarterly updates, and Appfolio is the platform we use. You use it too, I think. The key
We're
thing
switching
is,
over as of
okay,
yesterday.
good,
Yesterday we
good,
did a big
good.
switch over.
Excellent. So when you are able to give them what they need, almost like I say, we should be like fire engine. If any investor needs you to answer questions or like that, you should stop everything, cancel appointment, and give them priority. Give them
Yeah.
priority. That's the number one thing. You really nurture them, build relationship, and then you put shield around them. I always say that because there are so many different people would love to get their money, right? And they should diversify. That's why I started going into funds, with diversification into multifamily, senior living, hotels, and some other, alternative investments and things like that. So try to give them focused but diversified attack. And the key thing is you got to really not bother them. See, many times we bother people, our investors, too much. They don't like that. They don't like that. I don't even have a video of any of my investors. They don't want to be videoed, and because they are very private people. And we let them, be those. And that's the
I've
best thing.
I've made the mistake in the past, Vinny. I have some of my friends have lent to me, and I said, "Oh yeah, this person has this amount of money lent to me." And later on, every single person in that room was going over them looking for a loan,
Yeah.
looking for money. And
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
learned, you know what? This is something I keep it inside the mastermind. We talk about what we
That's it.
have, but
Yes.
outside of
Yes.
that room, people are always looking for money. There's always an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
always some sort of investor, newbie who's looking to put somebody's money to work for them. Now, for them to invest with you, yes, they're quiet people. What is something that, because I want to go back to this. I'm looking for something secret. I'm looking for something that only Vinny does, only Vinny knows about. Something that you look for in a conversation. Maybe it's the way they talk to you, maybe it's the way they write their email, maybe it's the way they send the proposal. About what is something unique that you've seen pretty consistently, at least in your favorite investors,
I would say
before
that
before they give you the money, before they hand you the funds.
that's a good point what you're saying. I had a good hack in the sense that I knew my investors would love to see my video update. So I used to do like video calls, Zoom calls, Skype even before, and WebEx. I remember, all those. So
These are video
what?
calls on other properties, not the ones they're invested in
No,
yet.
each property. No, no, no. each property, sharing with them. I used to do 4 video calls every month after taking the property and sharing them the staff we have and what curb appeal, what we have done first month, second month, third month, fourth month, then quarterly after that. So that way, our investors love because they don't travel to the property. So you need to bring the property to them in pictures and everything, and then send them the recording. I knew if they missed the video conference, they will watch it later. So I would put my next deal at the end of that presentation every quarter. So that's what my hack was. I never did a webinar, for 10 years maybe. And now I do some, but last year or so I've done some, but otherwise it used to be always at the backside. And then we'll put together a great a landing page and everything, and people will click on it with the soft commitments. We did that through the MailChimp. We did it that time. But the key thing is you got to really be sharing with the investors about the investment they have now, and then what you are going, where you are going from this place to this place, what assets you're underwriting, and that look forward to, seeing the next deal if it underwrites well.
Curiosity. I'm going to put it in one word.
Curiosity,
It is
you got it.
curiosity.
Yeah.
They're interested in the underwriting. They're interested in the development of the project. They're interested in the story.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's unique. That's something I've been hinting at in my subconscious mind, becoming aware of it. I made a post a couple of weeks ago about the 76 years of buying in Jackson. And I made a post and it had 65,000 views on it. I just shared the purchase price, the renovation budget, what's wrong with it. I talked about the fact that there's supposed to be 76 air condensers and there's only 11 on the roof. I just was very transparent.
Very nice. Very nice.
And I just did that because it was content. I was like, hey, I'm going to share what we're doing out here, enjoy. And it got shared all over the place with people saying, man, this is how you underwrite a deal. This is what you got to look for. This is the real story. And I'm listening to you now and saying, wow, curiosity is what makes a good passive investor. Is they actually genuinely care about the industry. They want to learn more and they want to be invested. The person who doesn't care is usually the one who later on calls you and says, hey, yeah, I don't want to invest again. I'm going to go put my money in the stock market, or I'm going to go,
I totally agree. Cash. Totally agree. And the key thing is, let me just say one more thing. You got to really have the investors commit for the investment when they are 100% sure or 120% sure. I collect 96 point some percent of the soft to hard commitments from my investors, because they know once they took the spot of 250 or 100 or 500, Vinney's counting on their money.
That's
so
right.
It's really, really, really important that you put the sense of urgency and also make sure that they are taking up somebody else's spot. It's actually always prioritizing when they click the button, then after they fill out the paperwork, PPM and all those things, and then wiring of the money. So unless the wire comes into the account, they are not given a seat, So that's very, very important. Yeah.
That is, I'm taking that to heart, because I often think to myself, is my conversion rate high enough? Am I converting enough of those soft commits into active? And I think I'm close to 85%. And I think what you just shared is the reason I'm not at 96. It's because I don't always, many times when I'm like very close to the deal, I'm like, hey, are you in or are you out? Because absolutely, if you are, I've got X amount I've got to finish here. And if you're not, it's okay. There'll be other deals. I just need to know, are you jumping into this one? Because we're down to the wire and it's timeline wise.
Yes,
and I almost always, with that context, I've got to say it more often. I think I've just got to make that a part of my system.
Yeah. Sense of urgency. Sense of urgency is so good because we want to have the money ready to be closing. And then I shared that with Dave Lindahl too. He says, Vinney, how do you get all these people to wire you the money? I said, well, brother, I paid back then 2% interest from the time they wired up to the day of closing. 4% per year actually. So it was few $1,000 I paid, but now it's 4%. So you could even say, you know what, it's 4% for the year, right? Annual. So if their money is there in the LLC for even a month or 2 months, they'll make some money. And then
0.33%. Like basically at a monthly rate, they're making an extra 0.33% because they set it up earlier. Wow.
It's amazing. It's amazing because they love that. They say, oh my gosh, this money sitting over here is not making any money at all for me. And here Vinney's going to give me with the first distribution that extra to those who did it. It
By
was
having
so
a sense of urgency and committing, I get an extra 4% on this deal this year.
Yes.
That's basically what they're getting is I get an extra 4% this year just by committing earlier and put the money in the account earlier.
Yes, yes,
Yes, Chopra for the win. This is Fun Thursdays. We do this every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do it at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're getting value from Vinney, please drop a comment below and share what your biggest takeaway was. What's something that he said that really spoke to you and resonated? And if you're going to be at the summit, drop in the chat summit, and I will see you there. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, there's plenty of room at the top. I will see you at the summit. Cheers to your success.
See you at the summit.
Choice.
We'll see you next Thursday. Abundance Mindset Show with Vinney, Chopra, and Gualter. Brother Gualter, thank you so much. Next meeting, 10 a.m. All right, brother. Talk to ya.
Later, Vinney. Cheers.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Dear friends, this is Vinney Smile Chopra. I am so glad you're listening to the episode. Thanks so much. Really appreciate that. Please share it with others who can really benefit also. Can I ask you a favor? Just a small favor. Less than a minute, if you could give 5-star reviews on iTunes or Stitcher, that'll go a long way. We are one of the top podcasts in real estate now in the nation, but it will really help a lot if you gave 5-star reviews, and we'll bring a lot more great content for you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, and see you in the next episode. God bless you. Bye-bye. Wow, what an incredible conversation today. I hope you got tons of value from this episode. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and follow me on social media to stay updated on all the things real estate, investing, abundance mindset, and wealth creation. If you're an accredited investor looking for exclusive investment opportunities, be sure to join our elite Monil Investors Club at vinnychopra.com/invest, where we share details of our future projects. Quick disclaimer, we are not selling any securities, and this podcast is strictly for educational and information purposes only. The opinions shared by our guests are their own and should not be considered financial or investment advice. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a financial professional before making any investment decisions. Thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, keep smiling, keep investing, and keep making a massive impact. God bless you.
Hey there! The upcoming episode is scheduled for Thursday. We appreciate your viewership of the Abundance Mindset Show. Tune in every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12 p.m. Eastern on various social media platforms hosted by Vinney Chopra and Gualter Amarelo. Don't forget to subscribe, share your comments, and leave a 5-star review. Thank you for your support.